talking about something I feel is easy to poke fun at because it's just a little ridiculous in general, and that is dating superficially.
100%. So it's one of those things that we all, it's like, this is not to get crass right away, but it's like someone who leaves a gasser in a room, right? We're talking about someone who's lactose intolerant. They don't like cheese. And one of the worst parts about that is the gas that follows. Mm-hmm. We all smell it. We all know it's there. We don't necessarily know where it's coming from, but we recognize when it hits us.
Right.
Superficial dating is a lot like that. It's
not when you're eating the cheese. It's after it.
After, yes. Mm-hmm. If we recognize the feeling, we recognize the grossness, we recognize that it's not necessarily sustainable, but we don't necessarily know how to put a finger on it. This week is going to help us do that. So we're going to find out, okay, what in the world is superficial dating and how it impacts us overall, then how it plays out in a relationship, mm-hmm. and then what we can do about it. How do we cultivate depth in a relationship and within ourselves as we try to search for the ever elusive love that we see on TV, movies, etc.
So now when I think superficial, I probably think of the top two, and that's looks, mm-hmm. by far number one. And then maybe monetary values after that, I would say, is my secondary when I think of superficial. But there's more than just looks and money that you can be superficial in.
So looks and money are important, but they're not special. And that's a very valuable distinction. You definitely need to be physically attracted to some degree to the person you're mm-hmm. with. And money doesn't hurt.
It does not.
My grandma used to say, the grandma's from the South and she's from North Carolina, but she used to tell me, hey, grow up, go to school, make some money. And I was like, why, Grandma? And she would be like, well, because only poor people need to be creative. I was like, what are you talking about, Grandma? And she said, well, in your relationships, only people who are struggling financially need to be able to make macaroni necklaces to give to their wife or their
right.
husband. If you got money, you remove a potential problem already.
Right.
And you kind of expose just the circumstance. Because now we're not worrying about bills and making ends meet. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying, obviously, my grandmother, she's 94, so she was joking. But for the most part, we want to basically identify the things that are important, like aesthetics, mm-hmm. like looks, or money, but not necessarily look at them as they're something special to be right. touted over everything else. But there are reasons why people date superficially, when those are their primary reasons. So dating with depth, like we're going to define it, is dating based on multiple categories. So not just solely 1, 2, or 3 areas where we're looking at looking for the full package, and not like perfect person, but the full package and what we perceived as the effective sort of filler of that relationship void in our life. When I say filler, I don't mean just a placeholder. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're looking right. for something specific, we pursue and obtain that something specific. So obviously aesthetics is one, money is the other, but we have status being an additional component. Being in the military, this is another thing that stands out. Like dating based on perceived status or power is a mistake of the young, but it's not solely based in being young. When I say a mistake of the young, it's something that young people do typically to satiate that need of closeness and feeling important within the context of the person I'm with. So when I say this, I think of I hate to say Monica Lewinsky, but kinda. You're dating for power. In that situation, we have the head of state.
I was thinking a little more close to home, that A1C that's now going after that master sergeant on that third marriage. That's what I immediately thought of.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking that too.
I was like, Monica Lewinsky, I mean, that's pretty big power. I'm thinking of just like, hey, that flight chief's looking pretty nice. Pull some strings.
100%. And it's one of those ugly truths that we don't talk about very much, but it's a realistic concern. Mm-hmm. Like dating for reasons that are that thin, so to speak, for very short-term, successes within the context of your relationship, but context and convenience also. So when I say context and convenience, I'm talking about dating based on context. So we were both at tech school. Mm-hmm. Context is that we're both here for X amount of months and we're going to just be here. And right. dating is just what it is in the context of a place where our options are fairly limited.
Right.
Convenience being that, my options are limited in this location, like Aviano, mm-hmm. but finding something of value might take a little bit more effort, so I'm going to date the thing that's closest to me.
Right, because I get to see it often. I know it's not going anywhere. It's probably got a 2-year assignment here. It's not a short tour where you're like, oh, we're running out of time. It's not tech school. We're running out of time. It's, well, at least you'll be here for 2 more years like me.
Yeah, well, and you see that a lot. Like, I've actually heard people say just that. Like, well, here for 3 years, that gives me 1 year to play around, like 2 years to try to,
They're
like,
calculating the
yeah,
time.
like really mathematically breaking down the things that are, like, not that helpful. Not good or bad or right or wrong, but just either helpful or not. And, like, planning, like, and again, if you're planning to play around, then play around, but be transparent with everyone you're playing around with.
Right.
But by all means, if you're looking for something more deep than that, like, don't fall into that shallow pitfall.
Now, one you have on this list, too, because now we're talking about aesthetics, financial benefits, convenience, context, the status. But one that we see, it doesn't even have to be for superficial, just dating in general. People get lonely. Yeah. And it is cuffing season. People are lonely.
You know what? It's true that cuffing season is based in the context that people, from a mental health perspective, find it more difficult to sustain happiness when we have less exposure to sunlight. Like, it's harder, especially when you're by yourself. Human beings are social creatures. Like, we need connection and closeness to people. If you're a person who's in a situation where you're alone and quote unquote single and looking, and it's getting around that time, this is a bad place to be in contextually when we're looking at dating for context and convenience. And the convenience being is, well, it feels better than being by myself.
And sorry to cut you off, but
sure.
Does that sound superficial, though? The just longing for the closeness? Because I don't think that's a bad intention, or at least.
No. No, not at all. It's not a bad, it's what we all do. Like,
yeah.
Like, I
ultimately, that's the point of being in a relationship.
Yeah, like to not be alone, sure.
Right.
But the goal so imagine the power that I can have over a person if I know that they're with me because they don't want to be alone.
Okay.
Imagine the power that I have in the context of our relationship. The dyad becomes very uneven really quickly, where I know that, well, if I leave you, it will break you. Like, I know that you're with me, so you're not by yourself. Because you can't be by yourself. You can't handle it alone. That's a very precarious place to be in as a single person. So if you're dating, if you find someone who's special and, like, seemingly, like, fitting, and I didn't say perfect, like, fitting based on the needs that you are looking for specifically, and it helps you not be alone, the additional additive effect of not being alone is cool. But if you're not really considering all these areas that we've been talking about for months now, and you're only filling the void of not being alone, then imagine the truly powerful position that you're putting your significant other in. For me, that sounds scary.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it from the other side of, like, okay, I'm going to seek this person out because I know they're lonely. I was thinking of the lonely person's point of view. So I didn't, you have to take into consideration what their end game is too. Or can I just string them along for my benefit for cuffing season?
I ain't talking about broken hearts.
And then St. Patrick's Day, right around that time, after all the holidays, bye.
Yeah, 100%. There's 8 billion of us. And this idea of pursuing connection to, in many ways, not face loneliness or stave off loneliness is okay if, of the 8 billion of us on this planet, everyone was cool.
Right.
If everyone was nice and friendly and loving and, like, cared about your well-being, then it's great. But they don't.
Right.
And it's 8 billion of us. There's natural statistical variation. So with that statistical variation, there's going to be several 100 million people who don't really care about your well-being.
I'd say the majority of them don't.
Probably.
More than less, I would say.
The overwhelming majority don't even know you exist.
Yes, also that.
So when they don't even know you exist, they have no expectation or reasonable intention to keep you safe. And not saying there aren't safe people out there, but you got to do some digging.
Right.
You got to like scrutinize as best you can. And if a person who's, let's say, nefarious or not looking out for your best interest recognizes that you are a person who's like lonely, then you are pursuing connection above all else, including your own personal well-being, that's a very abusive place to fall into.
Yeah.
And that's how abusive relationships begin.
So now I want to move on to the last one, dating superficially. You have here social expectations. So now when I think of that, I think of like, okay, work parties, maybe bringing them home to the parents. Grandma keeps asking when you're going to have a boyfriend. Is that what you mean, or do you have other examples for social?
100%. That's pretty much what I mean, in addition to like other expectations like military. So many of us, like, I know early on, like in my military career, I haven't been in terribly long, but like early on, I knew right off the bat, like, there's like this weird undertone of like, are you going to get married?
That, yeah.
Like, well, how long you been together? well, if you've been together X amount of months or years, like, are you going to get off the pot? And it's like,
I think by a certain rank too, people expect it. Like, oh, you're a captain and you're not married. Oh, you're a tech sergeant. You're not married yet. Like,
you're 35. What happened?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Immediately. What's wrong with you? Like, immediately, like, the problem is you as a person who's being single versus like the problem being like the circumstances, the environment, and or personal choice. Sometimes you don't, like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be single and or waiting until you find that, like, effectively, like, beautifully fitting piece to your necklace. And if you don't have that, it doesn't mean you'll never have it. It means that you're still searching. And
right. You're just not settling.
Yeah. You're digging. And sometimes our shovel gets a little worn, but we keep digging and we try because the effort is the journey itself, not necessarily the destination.
Right. So those are all the ways that typically you see people dating superficially. But I feel like with dating apps, it happens often now because you're presented with those superficial aspects. So if you're using a dating app, should you have a certain goal in mind? Should you look past all the social ones or the superficial? Because at that point, what are they showing me before I start swiping?
Scrutinize. If you take anything from listening and or you even all across from me now, like, scrutinize behavior. And every behavior has an origin. So like, dating apps aren't bad. And even superficial things, like half the things we've listed, they're not bad things. Like, they're just things.
You still take them into consideration.
100%. So if you're like swiping left or right on people, ask yourself truly, like, well, what am I even swiping for? Like, am I looking for a specific individual, a specific type? And that's okay if you have a specific archetype, but are you falling into a specific pattern that has led you down unsuccessful roads historically? If you have, like, challenge yourself to do something different. And then let's say, like, the dating app world I've heard some good things about dating apps too. Like, not all bad. Heard some people who were just like, hey, we chatted for a little bit, we met, things were good, I'm having a good time. If that's happening, now we move to phase 2, continuing to scrutinize interpersonal behavior and consistency between the version that you saw on the app and the version you saw in person. It started superficial. It can start superficial, which is most, like, speaking as a male, most of my relationships in general have started superficially. Like, I saw someone, I thought they were attractive, and I was like, I'm about to try my luck.
Until they stood up.
Yeah, until they stood up.
And then you realize something else.
Yeah.
But now with dating on social apps, kind of moving on to, let's say, that first date, I feel like it's very common to compare them either to exes or maybe compare them to even an idea in your mind of what you are looking for. So how is comparison, good or bad, indifferent?
It depends.
Okay.
Which is not a beautiful answer, but it's a human answer because most of us live in a vast, like, dearth of gray area. So I think about, like, when we're talking about, like, comparisons when it comes to superficial things. When I was in college, I played basketball my 4th year in school. Like, I spent my first 2 years trying to heal from an injury, and then last year ran track, and the year after that I walked onto the team. There was this girl that I met when I was at a bar. Like, I was at a bar my senior year. I'm now a Division I basketball player. I'm feeling myself a little bit.
Yeah. And
she asked me 2 questions that stood out. The first question being, are you like a new student? Are you like a transfer? Like, where have you been for the last 3 years? And I'm like, hello, I've been at this school. You just not noticed me because I hadn't been a basketball player at the time. Question number 2. Has anyone ever told you look like Chris Brown? And if you've ever seen me, you know that is a myth.
Did you have the same hairstyle in college?
Even if I did, I could have been wearing a Michael Myers mask. I didn't look...
I'm trying to picture it, right.
I look nothing like Chris Brown. For anyone who's never seen me in person, I'm 6'1", I'm bald, and I have, like, really thick, bushy eyebrows. My wife is probably laughing because she listens to the show every week, but it's true. Like, I look nothing like Chris Brown, and it was around 2009, so I didn't want to look anything like Chris Brown.
I was going to say, is that before or after?
That was after Rihanna. Okay. So I was happy to look nothing like Chris Brown. But her attraction to me was very, very superficial. It was based on social status.
Yep.
Like, I was an athlete at a school. And I'd seen her before. We had class together.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like, she was in my theology class, and she was also in my stats class, and she sat, like, 2 chairs over from me, and I wanted to talk to her back then. She just wasn't interested. So it was a question of, like, truly from an integrity standpoint for me, I'm now in a position where it's like, I know this person only likes me for like something incredibly superficial. She's not valuing me as a person, but she's still pretty.
And you still went for it.
I did.
You still asked her on a date, I'm sure.
I did, but then this isn't nice, but I stood her up, because I mean, once you're out of the moment, you have so much time to think about it. And I couldn't get past the fact that she didn't like me for me. She liked a basketball player. She wanted an archetype. She wanted a black male basketball player. And I'm not going to be anyone's created player on their own video game.
I'm going to guess she was the one at the games, going out every weekend with the team.
They call them jersey chasers.
No, okay. Yeah. That was her.
Yeah, she 100% was. And she's a very nice person. I don't want to disparage her, but I mentioned her by name and I won't. Okay. But she had her expectations and the things she looked for, and I just wasn't it. I made sure of it.
So now, she was definitely dating for that social companionship and the status.
Sure.
But what about, maybe a social pressure? Like, maybe I've seen people where it's like, okay, well, you don't really match with them, maybe because they're not on the same, like, social hierarchy. Is that something that you see a lot, like social comparison? Or maybe just like, okay, my friend group thinks I should be with this person, and like belonging with that same friend group?
That in itself is social comparison. In high school, we used to call it getting booed up. So everybody in the group is booed up, except for you. And that's a tough spot to be in around December, in January, when you feel like all my friends have somebody and I'm constantly the fifth or sixth wheel.
Right.
And sometimes getting into a relationship even makes those conversations just feel smoother. I feel like I match with everyone else. And so many folks are in relationships because it's easier socially just to say you have somebody versus the body. And that's a tough distinction to make as you get older, but even harder to make when you're 20.
Oh, yeah. You're going to the fair. Okay, I'm going to ride the zipper alone. Yeah. All right, I'll wait. Or who's that one random person?
Fair? Who's going to the fair?
You said 20-year-olds. I'm thinking about stuff where it's like awkward. You're like, man, yeah. And they call a single rider to the front of the line. And they're like, I guess it's me. I'll wait for all my friends.
Are we going to the skating rink afterwards?
When was the last time you've been to a fair?
On base. Home base.
Okay.
Yeah, like 3, almost 4 weeks ago.
Exactly. They had that little, that squid ride out there, and those are 2-person rides.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
And so that you actually brought back a memory when I was at Disney World when I was like, I might have been 19 or 20. I remember it was a Blizzard Beach. It was a water park, and at the top of this like giant, like basically mountain where you can ride the water slide all the way down. I remember we got to the top, and they did call for single riders.
See?
And I remember my brother, I was standing next to my brother and my cousin was like, I hate that he said this, but this is what he said. He was like, here come the losers.
It's those filler spots, like, damn, they don't have anyone. They came alone.
Mm-hmm. See? And it came with an instinctual judgment from him. And he, in hindsight, he didn't have anybody either. Like, he was single too, but he was hanging out with a crew of other single guys, me and my brother. So he felt connected enough to us to be able to criticize other people.
That's your group. You had people.
So that kind of social pressure is what I'm talking about. Or even dating by show and tell. Like with social media, that's a big one. Like I can show the world that I'm capable of getting somebody by having someone who I believe is not even physically attractive to my standards, but to the world's standards or to my friends' personal specific standards, and then take pictures. We talked about the Mona Lisa before while we were off the air. Like, I'm going to go to this fancy place, like even for Thanksgiving. Like the question of, so what are you doing for Thanksgiving? So many people take an emotional and or psychological hit when they say, well, nothing. I'm just going to hang out with people I care about and eat.
Or maybe not at all. I'm going to the gym. It's back day. I don't know. Like, I'm not even eating Thanksgiving food. Like, I see that a lot here too, especially in Europe. I find that one a little kind of sad. It's like, I was talking to a friend last week. Oh, I went on this trip to Prague. I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and they were like, who'd you go with? No one. I went with myself. Why? Well, because I wanted to see Prague. Like, why not? It's a cheap flight. I got there. It was beautiful. It was amazing. But even that one's like, she doesn't have anyone to travel with.
But the instinct is immediately, if you're by yourself, then you're not okay. Which comes from personal insecurity, and I would call it social insecurity in most humans to some degree, especially in 2022. This idea of being by yourself is not safe. It's not okay. It's not comfortable. And if you're by yourself, it's because you have to be, not because you chose to be.
Choosing to be.
And if you choose to be, it's a beautiful thing. And I used to go to the movies all the time by myself.
Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
If you can actually like do it and like, it's not necessarily the most kind thing to do, but I used to, when in high school, go to like 6 movies in a row. On
one ticket.
On a Saturday. I earlier, my mom knew what I was doing, and I'm sorry, Mom, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but I love my mom very much. But on Saturdays, I would wake up, and some days I would go on dates, and some days I would literally just go, I think, Hancock. I saw it twice back in like 2008, 2009.
Not even worth seeing it twice.
No, but I had nowhere else to go. It was like 10 a.m. showing, and I'd go to the bathroom, and I'd pop out again, and I hit the 1 a.m. or 1 p.m., then another 3:50, and then another 6, and then I'd stay till around 8 or 9, and I'd go home. And my mom would be like, how was your date? And I was like, I didn't have one. This was a day for me. Yeah. I kind of did my own thing. I ate a lot of candy. I was safe. I was in a complex or a mall that I was comfortable in, and I watched movies for me.
I love that. I call it my only child day. Like, there'll be days like, let me go get my nails done. I'm going to go maybe to a cafe I like, go to a movie, even grab dinner alone. Like, I like it.
Yeah.
Not every day, but there's some days where I'm like, leave me alone. I just want to go and enjoy this by myself.
You need it.
I think so.
If you don't have it, like, it's again, going back to the power that it gives to a person who you're possibly dating, if they don't have your best interests in mind. If I know that you can't take being by yourself, it puts me in a position of tremendous power in your life, because now I know that I can remove joy. Maybe I can add to joy, but to be able to take it from you is a very scary place to be.
I also think it's daunting too. It's like, now I'm the sole reason for your joy. And I think it's a lot of pressure to put on me. Like,
for the person?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And that is Dating Superficially, and we're going to take a quick break here, but we will be back after this song with Captain Williams from Family Advocacy. And you are back with DJ Dolce and Captain Williams from Family Advocacy. And we've been talking about superficial dating and kind of the pitfalls and how you should look for more of a deep relationship and kind of consider those superficial aspects, but not make them the whole entire goal. So now we kind of touched on this already the first break, but there is a social pressure to date, but there's also a social pressure of like the end game of dating. So whether that be marriage, kids, different things like that. Who kind of pushes on those, or how do you consider that? Because that might be a goal. Be like, hey, I know I want to be a mother one day. I know I want to get married, but how do you not kind of rely on that end game?
Personal awareness, to some degree, of knowing like what your actual end game is. So if you're 30 and children are important to you, and you're a female, like in many respects, like, it's one of those moments where it's like, maybe I need to light a fire under this. Like, maybe I need to get this ball rolling. And again, going back to what we talked about last break, is like, if you are in a position where you're in need and it's obvious, you lose leverage in your ability to be even right off the bat with a relationship initiation. So if you're looking like, I really need to get this baby thing going, if I'm meeting you for the first time and I know you need that from me, like, it puts me in a position where I can maintain some degree of power over the relationship.
Right.
So in many ways, you give yourself an opportunity to understand from an awareness standpoint, like, what my goal is. And if it is a baby, temper that expectation. Like, don't go into things looking, hey, date number 1, like, are you ready to have a baby? Because sometimes it is a discussion that needs to be had, but a discussion with some degree of tempered expectations and truly, like, openness. Like, because sometimes, like, the conversation, like, if I were on a first date, someone brought up like having a baby, like, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be upset.
I would say like, yeah, I want kids in the future. I wouldn't say like, I have a timeline. By next year, I want to have a baby, though. That's, I think, a little off-putting.
Some people say that, though. Some people do. And I don't know if it's, like, your face that you made was, like, accurate. Like, I don't know if it's the best way to go about it, and I don't know if it's the most helpful. But you see it with not just, like babies or, like truly, you see with a relationship extension or initiation in general. So, like, not even breaking up with someone because you fear the social recoil of, like, ending the relationship. I've heard this phrase, when I was like, back in grad school, it's like, well, I don't want to be single around this group of people. It's like, wow.
Now, that group of friends, though, like, who would that group be?
And for me, it was in grad school. It was the grad school crew that we had of people academically who had same classes, but also were associate / friends, like overall. But the idea that you would hold on to a relationship years of your life, potentially, because you don't want to be single around other people. But I don't want to be in a situation where I feel embarrassed because my relationship didn't make it and I feel like a failure because it fell apart. Like, so much of relationships are learning when things don't match and being okay with the fact that success or failure is inevitable one way or the other, but the journey is what your goal should be.
Right. Now, we've talked about dating socially, possibly for other people's perspectives, but what about for yourself when you're just trying to fill that emotional void?
It's one of those things that we see so frequently. It's like trying to complete yourself with somebody else. And the phrase, you complete me. Like, it's funny now because we hear it in movies so often, but like, the idea of being completed by someone else is potentially using another human being on this earth to fill that emotional void within yourself. When you think about it, it's a lot easier than doing your own individual work.
Right.
If you can find a void filler in a person, then I don't have to address the fact that maybe I do feel empty. And maybe there's a part of me that needs to be able to address, well, if I do feel empty, why is that? And then what are ways that I can fill myself up from an emotional and metaphorical standpoint with things that give me a sense of personal value first before seeking that in other people.
Right. There's a saying, it's funny because me and my boyfriend joke about this all the time, but he'll say, like, I couldn't live without you. I'd be like, you can live. You'd be miserable, but you could live without me. Or it'd be like, or, oh, don't you need me to do this? I was like, I don't need you to do it. I mean, I want you to, but I think that's such a common phrase that we embed that, is that, like, that other person completes them, or like, okay, the book is finished now. The chapter is closed. We're done. I wrote my book because now I found that person as like the ultimate end goal. But then it's like, okay, now what about all these years and now you're married? Then what do you do? Like, how are you filling that emotional void?
I mean, in many ways, like, in theory, if everything worked out right as you're starting the relationship and you end up with the person that you're supposed to be with, then the void is starting to fill on its own way before you even meet that person. And then you continue to help fill each other up, like, symbiotically, like, evenly throughout the relationship. And you said something interesting a second ago about, like, having someone to be there for you when you need them. And people oftentimes frame dating in that context, like, almost like dating by accessory. Like, the person you're with is an accessory. Like, I need my shoes to walk outside, but my shoes don't necessarily feel like a close part of my life companionship wise. It's a utility, it's a tool. Right. And if you treat your boyfriend like a new pair of Timbs, like like something you need to travel through the footsteps of your day-to-day living, you put yourself in a position where, like, this is not a relationship. This is now, I got the new Justins or the new Francises. Like, he's just a part of my life because I needed him to get through certain parts of it, and that's really all he's there for. Versus, like, someone who's, like, more so enhancing to your everyday experience over, like, accessorizing. Plus,
at one point or another, they're not going to be able to live up to that expectation that you need them to be.
Yeah, shoes get old.
Or like, hey, I need you to change my oil. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Then why are you here?
Like, I'm dating by utility.
Right.
Dating because this person makes life easier versus enhancing my life as a team. Which all things, like, consider, we're talking about things that hinder the cultivation of depth anyway. Like, if we're going to cultivate depth in a person, we have to first cultivate it within ourselves. So if you don't know what makes you deep, or if you don't feel like you're that deep at all, challenge yourself.
Right.
Question yourself, because every human being on this planet, even though there's 8 billion of us, we all have things that give us depth. And when I say depth, I'm not talking about, like, whether you write poetry or not. Like, maybe you do. Like, I did. It didn't work. Like, it was not one of the most fawn after things when it came to my dating experiences. But, like, what gives you personal value, and what do you bring to the table beyond what you look like? Right. Because it's important, but it's not special. Like, what's special is what makes you you, and what makes you you is the things you have internally. If you don't know what those things are, then you got research to do.
Right.
Like, you need to find that out, bro. Because if you have no clue, then neither will the person you meet.
And one thing I love about you is all the 44 dates that you went on before. They've been a wide range of people.
100%.
With maybe different stories, different looks, different avenues, different backgrounds. So one thing you explain here is you want to expose yourself to new environments and new types of people. So maybe expanding. Maybe you don't know what your type is if you don't know that personal interest of yourself and you want to explore that.
Yeah. And trying your best to really, so if you do have a specific archetype, like recognize, like, is that archetype something that's been effective in working out for me historically? And even if you had minor successes in certain areas, like, to what value do you add to your life by diversifying a little bit? And if you do diversify in a way that's safe and emotionally, like, sound, by not prematurely engaging too much into any emotional investment and or physical or intimate investment as well, and knowing when to leave, like, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. Yeah, gotta get out of it. Like,
yeah.
And so I'm glad you brought that up, because if you're knowing when to fold them and hold them and walk away, sometimes there's a way to do it that's effective, and sometimes there's not. So I mentioned over the break that there's a version of this story where I did walk away from a situation I was diversely dating. I was 16, like me, big grown man at 16.
16. Ooh.
Yeah, I was feeling in the world. I knew everything, and I was trying to expand my dating pool by dating someone who was different than the typical, but in hindsight, if I'm being honest, she was exactly the same as, like, the archetype that I was searching for. I was looking for physical aesthetic beauty in her face and certain body measurements. Pretty much that's what my extent of my diverse dating was for a 16-year-old. But I did have this understanding of, like, if I'm not having a good time, like, I don't have to stick around. And if I'm not having a good time, I'm actually doing this person a favor by not wasting their time as well. My execution of that was really, really awful.
At what point in the date? Is it like high and by?
Worse. Okay. So it's much worse. So I was 16. I took a bus, a couple trains, and another bus to the movies. And I was, like, meeting her there. She took a bus and some trains and whatever. We both made it. We were having a good time. She was as beautiful then as she was in school. So I'm like, yay me. I'm doing awesome. She was cool enough for me to be there. And for 16-year-old standards, it just meant that she was pretty and she smiled really nice.
Right.
Which was good enough for me at 16. So we go into the movie theaters. I forgot what we were watching. Another Will Smith movie, I'm sure. And we're sitting there watching the movie, and two things bothered me, or more than two things, but the two things that stood out. She was really annoying. Like, she's the kind of person who laughed at things but would hit you. Like, she would laugh at, like, every single thing. And I was like, that's already annoying. But then she'd hit me in the arm to, like, let me know. Like,
isn't
hey,
that funny? Like, yeah. Did you see that?
Like, are we enjoying this together? And it's like, no, I'm not. But she also had the worst breath I've ever smelled up until that point.
Really?
Like, talking about breath so bad that I was sitting to her left and she was laughing to her right, and I was smelling it as much as everyone else in the row. Like, and she was laughing with the biggest of ha-has. Too many H words and too many leans in my direction to see if I'm having a good time. Like, really bad. And I put up with it for, like, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And in doing so, like, I was like, this is not me. This is not my life. This is not the world that I want to exist in.
Please tell me you didn't get up in the middle of the movie and walk out. I know you did.
So I happened to lean over and go, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Right back. And I walk over and, like, head to the bathroom. And while I'm in there, I'm like, I don't think I have to come back. I mean, at 16, though, I don't really blame you.
I
didn't want to go back.
Right.
And I was like, I'm doing something for me. Like, this is my boundary. I'm going to know when to hold them, know when to walk away. And I just left. And I left the theater in the middle of the movie. And I realized as I got outside that I was like, I don't really know, like, how I'm going to get home, because I took the bus. And the bus stop is across the street from the theater. So she comes walking out.
Were you panicking? Like, is she going to see me? Is she going to come looking for me?
Yeah.
She think I'm just sick in the bathroom?
I didn't have the social maturity to deal with any of that.
Okay.
So there's a library across the street, and I decided to basically, like, go to the library, and the library had a atrium overhang over the, like, courtyard area of the movie theater.
You're over there watching her.
I did.
Waiting. God.
I went to the second or third floor. I can't remember. And I like sat there and I was like, I'll just wait to see her come out of the theater, and then she will catch the bus separate. And then I can go out there and catch it in peace. So I sat up there for about 40 minutes. And by 40 minutes, I'm like, she has to know I'm not coming back. And she knew, and she started like calling and texting. I didn't come.
Could you imagine if your phone started ringing like right above her as you're watching her?
But it was a big glass window pane, so like she couldn't see me, and it was like soundproof, so I could see her, and I saw her on the phone. I'm like, she's definitely calling me, and I didn't answer. And then she put her phone down, and like in hindsight, like this story, like. It makes me partially, I'll be honest, it makes me laugh a little bit because it's so silly. But the other part of me is like, man, she was a teenager too. And I really
She was pretty, so I'm sure she wasn't used to that.
Probably not. Mm-hmm. Probably not, because I was definitely a person who gave her an experience that she probably should never have to experience, but also never probably did.
Right.
Because it was weird.
Confused. Something happened. What happened to him? He got kidnapped. He must be. He's on the black market right now.
He's Batman. He got out of there. So I watched her get on the bus stop and wait, and I watched this poor girl to catch her bus and leave. And then my little walk of shame down the stairs of the library as I walked across the street and stood there and rode the bus, a few buses, a train and another bus back to my house like an hour and 45 minutes later. And I remember feeling awful. I was like, I'm real, like, this poor woman, regardless of how awful her breath was, like, that's neither here nor there. Like, anyone can have that happen. Like, we're human. Stuff happens. She was a person. She was a human being that I didn't have the emotional maturity enough in that moment to be able to tell her that I wasn't having a good time. It was time for me to go. I was trying to look out for myself in the context of looking for depth in my relationships and cultivating some degree of personal boundaries and separating myself when I don't feel like those needs are being met. But I did it in a way that was hurtful. So the moral of the story is, overall, is if you're in a situation where you're trying to cultivate your own personal depth, you do it in a way that's effectively communicative to everyone around you so everyone knows what's happening. And you don't leave people at the movie theaters when they're by themselves.
I gotta be honest with you. The one story that always gets me is the one you running through the zoo. Leaving the girl with her little chanclas on, following you all the way to the bus stop. I have to say, I think this one's worse. I think... No,
this one hurts my heart more.
Because the other one at least saw you running. She followed you. She was also running. This poor girl had no idea. She's sitting on the bus all alone.
Yeah, I was as she walked down the stairs, like all I could think about is like the walking away music from The Incredible Hulk in the 80s. Like the really, really sad violin of like, here this poor woman goes leaving, and then she never got closure.
No, like that's why I want to know the stories that she probably pieced together in her mind to assume like what happened to him. Something had to have happened because there's no way he just left.
Yeah, he was abducted.
Right.
He was an alien, picked him up, and we never saw him again.
Absolutely. So now we only have a few minutes left, but I want to talk about something that you said, like developing that personal interest, knowing what works for you. But then how can you truly define love and find love for yourself?
So if you're going to seek depth in other people, if you're going to have an expectation that the people that you meet are like meet a certain depth-based standard, then you give yourself an opportunity to develop that depth within yourself by seeking what truly makes you valuable. If you don't have a clue what makes you valuable, then you have a very beautiful start to this journey to figure that out. If you can figure that out and cultivate it in a way that actually is like palatable and or interesting for other people to hear when you're actually being yourself, which again, communication is a big part of that. Mm-hmm. Developing the skill of communication, because talking is not just something we just do well, like by definition. Just because we do it every day doesn't mean we do it well.
Right.
Give yourself an opportunity to build that skill the way we would with an instrument. Knowing that initially when we start playing that instrument, it's going to sound like loud noise. It's just stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's a beautiful moment that happens at some point when things start to work, where it feels like music and you're making it, cultivating it effectively when it comes to conversations and discussions and or pursuance of relationships with other people. If you can do that and then plant those roots really deeply, like in the people. So when I say plant them deeply, I mean if you find someone who meets these areas of criteria for you and they also have mutual interest in pursuing a relationship and treat you well. Now, I say treat you well, I mean consistently treat you well. Not someone
first month.
Yeah, who treated you well like 3 years ago and you feel obligated because they were nice to you once. Right. Like, who treats you well. Then you dig those roots in and you form them together so your tree never gets knocked over. If you can do that and be open to trial and error and learning based on trying and failing at times, effectively but safely, you give yourself a fighting chance, and that's all we want, is a fighting chance to be able to find love the right way. And if you can do that, you're one of the lucky few, and I'm proud of you.
You did it. Chapter closed.
Yeah, define love, man.
I just can't show love. You just said I showed up. Boy, respect your elder. I'm a fucking grown up. Grown them told me go nuts. Grown them ain't for no number. No talking at dinner or to bacon that eat donuts. Something on the come up. I might share my bonus. Cases of coronas and my little marijuana. I'ma face a hold up. Rosie's for my soldiers. Tell her hate to hold up. Them niggas gotta show love.